Well, this is where I am today. Not really in the best of moods, not really doing well. And I'm just going to say it. I feel depressed. I was going to put out a series of videos starting logically and organized and explain what I'm doing and all of that. And then I had a bad day before I had a chance to do all of that. Except that I felt really pushed inside, really impressed to do this anyway. And I think that's because we don't go around saying we're having a bad day. We don't admit when we struggle. We don't say, I feel depressed. We certainly don't allow each other to do that. Because if you find out someone's having a bad day, you want to cheer them right up. We want to conquer. We want to overcome. I don't feel like overcoming today. I don't feel like I'm more than a conqueror in Christ. I feel like I want to lay here for the rest of my life in my robe, in my bed with the pillows on my head, and not deal with anything. I don't want to learn and I don't want to feel better. I just want to be left alone. And I feel overwhelmed. And here's what I'm thinking. We get bad news. Things happen to us. But we typically don't want to feel those negative emotions. We typically don't want to, or we don't feel, maybe that's it. I don't feel like I have a right to stay down in the dumps. When someone that is going through a hard time, let's just say someone has cancer, and you say to them, how are you doing? How are you feeling? You don't want them to tell you that they're struggling. They're barely holding on. They're barely keeping it together. What do you do with that? You want to know that they're doing better. They're feeling good. They're moving on. They've got a good attitude. Ugh. I would just like to suggest that when you get a piece of bad news and you have feelings about it, it's perfectly normal. Some of us have what I'm going to compare to a roller coaster ride, right? That roller coaster sometimes is short, sometimes it's long. Sometimes it goes upside down and all around, and sometimes it just kind of goes like this. And I would just say that if you have bad news, you have a bad day, that it's okay to feel those emotions. It's okay to ride the roller coaster ride, whatever it is for you at that time. And I think it's okay to allow your loved ones and your friends to ride the roller coaster because it's normal. I don't think it's normal to suppress all of that, to turn that frown upside down immediately. I think it's part of the process that you have of hearing that, feeling that, and doing something with it. So I say, maybe we should be a little more, we should allow people to ride the roller coaster of negative feelings or whatever feelings they have. Dear God, I don't want to dictate what feelings that you should have. These are the feelings that I'm having. I had got bad news. I actually gave myself a half a day to be upset about it, and then I was just gonna move on. See, I'm getting stressed just talking about it right here in my neck. I was gonna move on and buck it up, but I found out today that I couldn't buck it up. I wasn't done. So I'm just going to ride the wave. I think the difference is when the roller coaster ends, You get back up off your feet and you move on. You don't insist on staying strapped in and ride that roller coaster over and over. I think maybe that's where the problem is. But if you don't allow yourself to do that, all of those emotions and feelings go somewhere. They go internal. They're poison. You can't hold that stuff inside very long. I think sometimes that's why a lot of us are on happy pills or whatever, because we never learned how to deal with those things, or we don't want to feel them. We want them to go away. I think having a bad day is normal. And I would also say that allowing your mind to race, the questions to happen, the thoughts that you have, and maybe you need to write those down. But let all of that stuff just flow. Either flow out of you writing it down if you journal or that works for you. Maybe instead you need to talk about it. I'm going to think I need to talk about it. It needs to come out of my mouth and out of my head and out of my heart. And all of that just needs to flow. And that's part of the reason why I'm doing this. I don't want to hold it in. And I don't want to say that I'm somewhere or feeling something that, well, first of all, I don't like to feel. Let's just start there. I'm kind of anti-roller coaster, anti-feelings, and all of that. Because it's a lot to deal with. And my plate has been full for a long time. But today I'm going to tell you, having a bad day. I'm depressed. And I feel like I don't want to try anymore. That's not where I'm going to be tomorrow. And I think it's all okay. And I think that the next time you have a bad day and you feel anxious or depressed or worried or whatever, it's okay. Feel that. Think it. Question it. Whatever. But process it and get it on the other side. You allow me to have a bad day. Love me anyway. You have a bad day. I'm going to be there on the other side too. And maybe tomorrow I'll get up and be ready to start a whole series of videos to explain what I'm doing and what I'm thinking. It'll all be upbeat and funny because that's how we like good old Nicole. Upbeat and funny and witty. But today, that's where I'm at. And it's okay.